We're making cheesy skillet cornbread. What I love about this recipe is that you can actually make it in the oven or on the grill. It's loaded with cheddar cheese, super moist and tender, not too crumbly, and amazingly easy to make. Are you excited?
I'm so excited, and I've had problems in the past with having too crumbly of a cornbread, not enough moisture, and I'm super excited about the cheese in this one.
Yes, me too. I love cheese. I'm going to show you guys how to make a cornbread that's really moist and golden brown at the edges and actually kind of holds its shape, so it's perfect for an outdoor barbecue. So let's go ahead and get started. So in this recipe, we're featuring Simple Truth Cheddar Cheese and Reynolds foil to make cleanup a breeze.
You can find all the ingredients listed below, and they're all available at your local Kroger family store.
Hey guys, it's Tessa from HandleTheHeat.com.
And Alex.
And Sonia from A Couple Cooks. Welcome to our summer barbecue series.
We are so excited to be teaming up together and with Kroger, your one-stop shop for summer entertaining.
And we are whipping up healthy real food recipes from A Couple Cooks
with delicious baked treats from Handle the Heat. So let's go ahead and dive on in. So we're gonna start with the liquid ingredients. So in a medium bowl, we're gonna combine 3 large eggs. And you want to add milk?
Yes, please.
We're adding actually both milk and buttermilk in this recipe.
So if I didn't have buttermilk in my refrigerator, could I use milk with lemon juice poured in as a little DIY substitute?
You could. This recipe is actually pretty forgiving, but I find that real buttermilk always has such a better flavor and it adds more moisture and richness to any recipe you're using it in.
All right, so buy that real buttermilk.
So we're just gonna whisk this until it's all combined. Okay, that looks perfect. So we're gonna set that aside and mix some of the dry ingredients next. So when I'm making cornbread, I actually like to use pretty much equal parts of cornmeal and all-purpose flour. You can add that in.
Okay.
I find that that makes a cornbread that holds its shape and is nice and moist. If you're using a recipe that has more cornmeal than flour, that's where you tend to get a little too crumbly, in my opinion. And then we have some granulated sugar.
Now I noticed this is not very much sugar that we're putting in.
Yeah,
Some cornbread recipes call for like a half a cup of sugar. Why is
this
that?
one only uses 2 tablespoons. It gives it just enough sweetness to have a nice taste, but not so much that it's ultra sweet and a little indulgent. You could actually also use honey in place of the granulated sugar if you'd prefer, or you can omit it altogether if you like no sugar in your cornbread. So next up is a tablespoon of baking powder, a little bit of baking soda, and some salt. And you can whisk that together. So we have our dry ingredients and our wet ingredients. We're going to make a well in the dry ingredients and pour the wet mixture right on in.
Now why do you make a well? I always wondered that.
It just helps to allow the flour to better absorb the wet ingredients so that you don't end up over mixing, because if you over mix a batter like cornbread, that can lead to dense, kind of rubbery cornbread, which we definitely don't want. So just gently stir that together. And I always like to use a rubber spatula in these instances. Again, it just helps to make sure you're not over mixing and actually adding too much gluten from the protein in the flour. And that's what actually creates that kind of dense, tough texture, which we don't want here, so just be super gentle. Okay, so next we're adding some melted unsalted butter. This will help add richness and taste to these cornbread. And then also the grated cheddar cheese, which is the star ingredient. So I'm actually only gonna add about 3/4 of the cheese to the batter, and then I'm gonna reserve the rest to sprinkle on top so that everyone knows there's cheesy goodness inside and it will look amazing. So give that one last gentle stir.
And this is a batter where lumps are okay, right?
Lumps, you want lumps. If you don't have any lumps, then you're probably not gonna be happy with the final result. So I just took the hot skillet out of the oven. Be careful with the handle, and I also greased it with some nonstick cooking spray. And we're just going to plop the batter right on in. And what I love about this recipe is it's totally customizable, so you could add in tons of different flavor variations like peppers. I actually think the grilled peppers and veggies from your loaded nachos would go great in this recipe.
Great idea.
So just gonna smooth the top a little bit and then sprinkle. You wanna sprinkle the remaining cheddar cheese.
And I notice it's very kind of a chunky batter. That will all settle down in the oven.
And it should bake up nice and golden brown and delicious.
Great.
So this will go in a 375-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes or until golden brown. Okay, so the cornbread is out of the oven. It's golden brown and delicious.
Amazing.
Thank
really.
you. And we have to bring Alex in for a little taste
Yes,
test.
can't wait.
This is definitely best eaten the day that it's made. If you have leftovers, you can actually chop them up, toss them with a little bit of olive oil, and bake them for 10 minutes at 400 degrees and make cornbread croutons.
It's a great idea. We've had those in a Caesar salad
Yes,
before.
same.
And they're so good.
So good. All right, so let's go ahead and take a taste.
Looks amazing and cheesy.
Delicious.
So tall and fluffy. Perfect.
All right, guys, so that's it for this cornbread. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out all of our recipe videos in our summer barbecue series playlist.